Yeah. Yeah. It feels good to be a Greensta. Yeah. Damn, it felt good to be a European cheap nukes. North Sea gas lights on 24/7. A real energy-rich continent play its cards right. A real energy-rich continent never ran its fucking mouth. Cause real energy-rich continents don't start fights with physics, and politicians always had the high cap, showing off the shiny solar panels and subsidies. But real energy gangsters knew the score. Base load power kept the factories humming, and everything was cool in the mind of an industrialist. Cause real energy gangsters think deep up 365, ayo, winter and summer. Cause real energy gangsters don't sleep when the grid's solid. Then came the closure, Sweden pulled the plug. Germany waved goodbye to nuclear imagery. Dreams turned into Dunkel float nightmares. Dark, calm, no wind, no sun, prices spike. England shutting down North Sea oil and gas. Net zero by whenever they cried. Holland pouring concrete in the groaning in Wales. Sealing Europe's emergency supply. Energy prices through the roof. People freezing in their flats, all cause of political choices. And all I gotta say to you wanna be Greenstas, gonna be climate bricks. When the fire dies down and the bills arrive, what the fuck you gonna do? Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. Feeding the lobbyists and helping out with their grants. Although we were born with cheap Russian gas and Norwegian fields, now we're in Brussels making green deals. Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. One that the voters don't really know. Riding around in private jets and Teslas, hitting switches on our Brussels expense account. Now Greenstas politicians come in all shapes and colors. Some got voted out in the past, but this Greensta here was a smart one. Started living off wind farm subsidies and now last. Now all I gotta say to you wanna be, gonna be fossil hating pranksters. When the shit jumps off and the grid goes dark, what the fuck you gonna do? Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. A real climate ass politician knows the play. The real Greenstas get the flyest of the contracts. Ask that Greensta ass commissioner. Now citizens look at Greensta politicians like a stop sign and play the role of just transition sweet. But catch the people alone with the energy bills. Get the digits, end up hitting them with the meat. Cause Greensta politicians be the game players, and everything's quiet in the Brussels clique. A Greensta pulls the trigger on nuclear plants, and his partners in the posse ain't telling off shit. Real Greenstas don't talk much, all you hear is the whoosh of a turbine when it actually spins. And real Greenstas don't run for shit when prices explode. Cause real Greenstas can't run fast from angry voters. Now when you're in the free market talking shit about fossils, do the phase out, hit the dark, don't let a motherfucker freeze ya. But politicians like myself kick back and peep game. Cause damn, it feels good to be a Greensta.
A word from the enemy.
And now, a word from a neo-president. Damn, it feels good to be a Greensta. Getting forwarded into the Brussels house. Everything looking green to the people of Europe.